This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Hey, I'm running out to drop off a stack of letters and packages. Need anything shipped while I'm gone?
Save the gas. Stamps.com lets you print postage and schedule pickups right from your desk. Sync your contacts into the address book, get detailed accounting insights, and get notified the moment your certified mail is delivered.
All from my desk?
All from your desk.
Join the 4 million businesses using Stamps.com right now with code PODCAST and get your free welcome gift. Stamps.com, code PODCAST. Taxes and fees apply.
It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James VanOsdol.
Okay, this is Car con Carne. Car con Carne is presented by Exploding House Printing. If you are a musician, an artist, someone who manages a brand, someone who wants merch to get your brand, your name out there, check out explodinghouseprinting.com. Jonathan, the guy behind it, he's been doing this for a very long time, like decades. He knows what he's doing. The prices are reasonable. He does major print shop work at indie print shop pricing. Check him out, explodinghouseprinting.com. I'm James VanOsdol. I'm in Mayfair tonight, and my guests are Bleached Cross. Described as oppressive post-punk. In truth, there's a lot more nuance to that. I hear dark wave, industrial, new wave. Lots of goodness for a lot of different interests. And yes, there's heaviness, but a lot of the heaviness is emotional. There's also a pervasive sense of melody throughout. The songs are visual, they're a mood, they're a moment, and the new album, Wrath, is something to leave on repeat. Actually, this is perfect timing. If you can see, if you're watching the video, like the sun's almost down, like this is the perfect time to pop on the new Bleached Cross album. I'm sure you would agree. I'm with Zak and Alex from Bleached Cross.
Hello.
Thanks for meeting me.
Thanks for having us.
And doing this. I want to talk about, did I say Wayfair or Mayfair? We're in Mayfair.
Mayfair.
Did I say Wayfair?
No, you said Mayfair.
Okay. In my head, I've got furniture on my mind. Okay, good. Before we talk about the album, which I really enjoy, the new album, can you talk about what you brought for show and tell?
Yes.
All right, so this is our first time meeting. This is our first time talking. You brought a visual aid.
Yes, this is my box of cassettes from as a kid, and you can tell it's from the late 90s with all these sick alien stickers on it.
Oh, nice.
Wrote 311 and Korn on the front.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's handwritten?
Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic.
With like a whiteout thing, I think.
That's fantastic.
Very junior high.
Oh, yeah. But I brought these to show to James because I grew up listening to Q101 when he was a DJ on the radio, and I have many, many tapes that I just taped straight off the radio onto my boombox from probably maybe 4th grade through like 8th grade.
Oh, look at this. All right, so handwritten, I see Limp Bizkit, Blink-182, Creed with a symbol next to it. Is that was that their logo?
Let me see. Probably not. That's probably just my badge.
That might be their logo.
That's an arrow to show you that there is more on the inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else do we have? Oh, Korn and more Blink.
Yeah. All that good stuff from
Jimmy's Chicken Shack, lots of Korn, Pumpkins, double shot of Metallica. This is what else? I love this.
Yeah. Some of the tapes are not labeled. This one, I just drew a cool weird face that says Bloodhound Gang, and it says Freak on the front because it's the song Freak by Silverchair at my grade school talent show. I thought it would be an awesome idea to go up in front of all my classmates and sing 2 songs from these tapes, one of which was Freak by Silverchair.
Who at that age besides you has that kind of courage to do that?
I don't know, man. I guess I was a weirdo as a little kid, but I was like, I love these songs. I'm going to do this at the talent show. So the one thing I remember about this was I did Down by 311. And again, I was in 4th grade.
Not easy to pull off as a 4th grader.
No, and especially when you don't actually know the lyrics because there's no way to look them up.
So right, of course.
So I'm like doing the song, because this is like 97, 98 probably, or maybe 96. and I'm like up there doing the song, and I like think I'm like just nailing it, and I'm absolutely just saying words that how they sound phonetically.
Sure.
And a teacher walks up to me like mid-performance while I'm still doing the song and just whispers in my ear and goes, "Zach, we can't tell what you're saying." And I was just like, cool.
Which is the equivalent of like the big vaudeville hook pulling you off stage.
Yeah, they didn't send Sandman out to like pull me off the stage, but that was enough to make me be like, oh, okay. I can't remember if I did that song first and Freak second or vice versa, but I remember people up front were like getting into the Silverchair.
See, it's so hard for me to explain to my children, who are now adult children, what that was like to sit by the radio waiting to hit play and record.
Oh, yeah.
When like the first, like, name that tune, like I know that note, that's the beginning of What's My Age Again, and like just getting that start. They don't have any.
You know, Top 9 at 9 was like appointment listening for me when I was in junior high. I think it was like maybe the last year or two that the Cage Match existed that listened to that a little bit, but another core memory for me back then was, and you might remember which DJ did this because I don't remember who did, but someone played, I think it was Nookie by Limp Bizkit on all 9 slots and got like, but that was you?
Yeah. That's me. Top 9 at 9.
That ruled. That was so sick.
I don't know if I want that to be my legacy. That's why I keep doing radio stuff, and I've been doing the podcast for 13 years to further my legacy beyond that one night on the air.
Well, that was an incredible night. So I'm very happy to be in the presence of a living Chicago airwave legend.
Amazing. Well, thank you for bringing in your tapes. I can't believe you still have them.
Oh, yeah. I would never get rid of these. Precious, precious memories.
If you do ever digitize them, I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, absolutely. My dad had he digitized all his cassettes, so I have like digital versions of like all his tapes I heard growing up that were also like radio mixes of like, what was the oldies station in like the 80s and 90s?
WJMK.
97 WJMK.
Or was it like a classic rock oldies? Was it like...
No. It was like 50s, 60s.
Probably
like
JMK, yeah.
Okay. So I have, and there's like 2 that I like that were like summer tapes of his that I remembered always like hearing on like car trips and stuff over summer break. So I have those on like my old phone, which is now my like iPod.
All right, so let's talk about your band. Let's talk about Bleached Cross, for F's sake. Again, Wrath is new. And speaking of radio, I was delighted to play you guys very early on in my run on XRT doing local anesthetic. What a cool sounding song that I played that night. I played Crucible on the show, a song that has real urgency, driven mostly by the guitar on that one. Tell me about that out of the gate.
Yeah. I mean, Crucible was one of the... So a bunch of the songs you wrote on this record, I feel like were kind of demos from our previous split we did. There was kind of like demo versions of some of them lying around that ended up getting developed and made it onto this album. But I think Crucible was one of the earlier ones that we wrote like specifically for this album. And I feel like it was really bass driven. And then everything kind of got layered on top of that. It felt pretty... I feel like when I showed it to Zach, he was sort of like, oh yeah, this is sick. And then he came in and laid some like demo vocals on it, and I thought his vocals like just popped right away, and I was like, oh, yep, this is a song, like this works. But yeah, that one was like a pretty straightforward one. There were definitely songs we struggled with when we were writing, and that one felt like a pretty like straightforward, like bread and butter Bleached Cross song for us that just kind of like flowed. And
yeah,
to me, I felt like it was a pretty easy one.
Yeah, for that one I liked too how it was really like bass and drums kind of took center stage, because I feel like we didn't really get to do that on any songs previously, and that seemed like a cool avenue to pursue, and kind of felt like classic like 80s like post-punk like
very
wave
much
type stuff. So I was happy to have like some semblance of that kind of represented on the record.
So how do songs start for you? They don't all start with a bass line.
I think it depends. I mean, sometimes I will write guitar riffs that I'll send to Alex, but he does a good portion of the initial demoing, so he can probably talk much more in depth about that than I can.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say like, you know, roughly speaking, I maybe come up with more of like the music ideas and kind of like demo that, and then Zach is like the vocals, and then like obviously we contribute back and forth with that. Like Zach will send riffs, or I'll send him music ideas, and then we'll work on them together to finish them. Or, you know, he's got vocals, and then I'm like, hey, let's add that. I do like backing vocals and stuff too, so like the more like harsh vocals and stuff, like, so I'm like thinking of how to add those in. But honestly, a lot of it, when it started, we were like in COVID, so we were able to all like meet up more as a band and actually like jam, because no one was like working and stuff. Right. But then everybody's busy now, so on this album specifically, I'd say we definitely shifted more into kind of like a, like a studio project, like sending files back and forth. Zach and I would meet up pretty regularly, at least like once a week, and just like jam in my basement with my like just little like interface, like my little Focusrite interface, and just like demo stuff, and just kind of went from there. So but yeah, I mean, that's generally the flow. I'll like try to come up with like ideas, and like Zach was saying on Crucible, like that one we were specifically, I was like, sometimes I ignore the bass and it's just like real, kind of basic root note stuff, and I was like, I need to like write something that's like more bass focused, and so that's kind of like how that idea came up. But all the songs are a little different, and then they evolve over time too, where I'm like, oh yeah, what's this file on my computer? I haven't opened up this session in a while. Like, oh, that's kind of cool. I don't even remember playing that, but that's kind of neat. Like, oh, maybe we can make this a song. So it's just lots of playing and experimenting, I guess. Yeah.
So I mentioned we're recording in Mayfair. We're on Cicero, where cars either go 10 miles under or 20 miles over.
Oh yeah,
100%. Same with Harlem.
Yes. Oh God.
I live off of that street.
Same thing. How did you guys find each other? Because it seems like you're kindred spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to college together.
Oh, there it is.
So
okay.
we met down there, and we were living in the same dorm, right?
Yep.
And I don't remember who put us in touch with one another, but I think it was over trying to like maybe do like a cover set or something like that. Was that initially how it started?
We lived in the same dorm, and I was like I think we were like aware of each other, like, oh, that's like that other emo kid or something. But like we weren't like friends, and I think we like officially like met and talked at, I think it was that show you did where it was like Grown Ups and Castavet, and
that was the first time we met.
I feel like I was sitting on the porch of that show, and I was like, I don't know, you were like, I think you were standing outside talking about wanting to start like a pop punk band.
Okay.
And I was sitting on the porch, and it was just kind of like, oh yeah, what's up? And then I like messaged you on Facebook like the next day or something. I was like, oh hey, just by the way, if you are trying to start a pop punk band, like, blah, 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 blah. And then the first thing we ever did together was like an Alkaline Trio Halloween cover set. So that's how it all started.
And sonically, you ended up where you ended up, which would be unlikely starting as a pop punk band.
Yeah. And then also underneath all of that, so that's like back in college, Zach and I have been jamming and playing in different projects together. We're always trying to start like a heavy band, and it like never turns into like a heavy like hardcore metal band. It's always like, oh, it's kind of like a pop punk band or an emo band or whatever Bleached Cross is, it's like, oh, it's like not quite heavy, but yeah, I don't know. That's been, maybe one day we'll have like a heavy doom crossover band or something.
Well, Bleached Cross is by no means a pop band, but like I mentioned, there is a real sense of melody there throughout the songs.
Yeah,
I think that's Zach mostly. He carries that, I would say.
Yeah, so I guess going back to that initial story, like I told you of my awesome performance in like 4th grade, but yeah, I mean, growing up listening to music, I think I was always drawn to like singing along like with the songs. So I think subconsciously I'm just like drawn to making things, or I guess like recognizing like melody in songs and like hooks and catchy parts. And this band's really been the first time where I've tried to actively like focus on that. And even within this band, I haven't really, I feel like, tried to push it until this most recent album. Like the stuff before it, there was definitely a sense of melody, but I didn't go too all over the place with it. And this one I was kind of like, and I don't remember if it started because of like the first song or two we wrote, but at some point I was like, okay, like I want to make, I think like the blueprint for me was Suffer off our first LP. And I was like, that song's awesome. I want to write like more stuff that sounds like that. And I thought that had a very catchy chorus. So I was like, okay, what if I try to make like every chorus on this new record like that caliber, but like, hopefully like it's there throughout the songs. It's not like just the choruses are like that and everything else is like kind of deadpan and straightforward. So yeah, it was a conscious decision at one point, but I don't think it always was like leading up to that, if that makes sense.
It does. And the album, I mean, it seems like you kind of figured out exactly who you are and the statement you want to make sonically. I'm a big admirer of listening to an album start to finish, and when artists really kind of thread the needle from start to finish, and there's that journey in the sequencing of the album. And I feel like you were mindful with how you laid out the tracks on this one.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely tried to be. This one was hard to sequence. We went back and forth a lot, but I definitely think this album was one that we consciously wanted it to be a full album, like listening experience. Not
and
that
starting with Thorn Crown, which I mean is like textbook intro.
Yeah,
that one was kind of like, again, that was like an earlier idea. Originally, that was almost going to be like an interlude on the previous split we did, and then I was like, I don't think that feels right, and then it kind of clicked and we were like, oh, the album will have like an opening track, like this could work as kind of like this cinematic kind of just like really dramatic feeling, like kind of opening thing,
like these agonized whispers, you are forgiven, like really just kind of a haunting entry point.
Yeah, and that one, I think that song came about later, so it was kind of like I had to sort of like reverse engineer the lyrics almost to like, because the last song on the album, the song Wrath, I wrote the lyrics for that kind of somewhat earlier on, so I like knew kind of where it was ending, and some of the other pieces kind of came in before that intro track. So I almost had to kind of like work backwards and be like, okay, I have the ending, but I need to like set up the beginning so that hopefully it like makes sense as a full digestible like piece from start to finish.
One of the standouts on the record is Tomb. Who's doing the vocals, the guest vocals on that? Because it's a wonderful counter to what you're doing.
Thanks. Yeah, it's our friend Harley, who sings in the band Bosses, who is also from Chicago. They're like a heavy, I don't know if you'd call them like shoegaze, but just like a big guitar like band with very ethereal vocals. But I lived in San Diego for a couple of years, and I actually met her out there. We worked together, and we tried starting a band together out there, and we wrote a couple songs, and ironically enough, like when it came time to like be like who's going to be the singer, I had previously, my old band I was with Alex, and I was the main singer in that band too, and I was like, I just came off of doing a band where I was the main singer, I want to just focus on guitar. And she's like, I can't sing, I don't want to do vocals. And that, right? Yeah, it is funny that she said that. Yeah, and our friend Dan like didn't want to do them either, and he was our bass player. Anyway, long story short, our drummer got a job offer out of state, moved. We had to scrap everything we wrote, found a new drummer, rewrote songs, and then we lost our practice space, and that was kind of the end of the band. So we wrote a bunch of tracks, never got vocals, never got to record anything, but that was how I met her. So she eventually moved to Chicago, I think maybe like a year or two after me and my wife moved back in 2020. So I think Harley moved here in like 2021, 2022. Did you
just get tired of perfect weather all the time? You thought, I want to move back to the Midwest?
Totally. Mm-hmm. No, it was COVID. I got laid off from my job out there.
It is. Okay.
It's also a insanely expensive city to live in.
I can only imagine.
Like to the point where like my friends who still live out there, I don't know how they're affording it, but it's a beautiful city. Made a lot of really good friends out there, and she's one of them. So yeah, she ended up coming out here, and she had been working on that project Bosses for quite a while, and it's like really gotten off the ground and gained steam, and they're doing a lot of cool stuff right now. So I thought it would be cool to have a vocal feature on that song, since the lyrics that she is singing are supposed to be someone else who is like talking or speaking,
like a conversation.
During that part. Yeah, exactly. So I thought that'd be a cool spot for a second person, and she was like the first person I thought of, and she was super game to do it. And
yeah, it totally works.
Yeah. I was very happy with how that turned out. I had to kind of approximate like what it would sound like when we demoed it, and like I think Alex probably even like pitch shifted my vocals to make them sound higher up. And we were like, all right, I mean, I think this might be cool. Like we'll find out when we're in the studio, I guess.
I listened to your music. We're recording this at the end-ish of August. We're heading into Halloween season. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that you guys are all in for Halloween.
Oh yeah. Big time. Yeah. I mean, realistically, like if I could have had it my way, having it like come out on Halloween or like in the fall would have been like pretty sick. But the way our schedules work, whenever we've got enough time to record, it's usually over our summer break, and then generally factoring in like mixing, mastering, and putting things out physically. It's kind of like plan on it being a year from like the time you finish the record to like when it'll be out. So I feel like we've had a lot of like summer releases because of that. But yeah, definitely love Halloween.
Favorite horror movie?
Probably Hellraiser.
Oh my God. I have to pick one.
Man, not a favorite.
Yeah, no, I mean, Hellraiser's amazing. The original Halloween's amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
I really love Blair Witch
Yeah.
Project. That seems to be a decisive opinion.
The Thing. That's great.
The Thing is awesome. I really like The Witch.
I need to rewatch that. I don't think I was in the right frame of mind.
It's a slow burn, but
Yeah.
it's good. My wife loves that movie. She watches it way more than I do, but it's a very cool one.
Yeah, people I trust, and I trust you. People I trust love it, and I didn't take to it. I just think I wasn't in the right frame of mind.
Give it a watch again in October. I would also Hereditary's up there for me too.
Ooh, you know what?
That's a
Yeah,
very
as
good
far as
one.
newer stuff, Hereditary's pretty top tier. And then I feel like it's kind of like an homage to like Rosemary's Baby, which is like another awesome one.
That, my God, that movie holds up.
It's just like a good movie.
It's just a
I
good
don't know,
movie.
man. Like outside of being a horror movie and stuff too, it's just good.
And one of the best endings.
Oh yeah, Hail Satan!
Yeah, of any horror movie.
I have to rewatch that. I think I watched it like once or twice in like high school and college and haven't gone back to it.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, as we all age, I'm aging a little bit faster than both of you.
That's okay. I'm right there. behind
Movies
you.
from a different time don't always land. They can feel slower. The dialogue can feel stiffer. The cinematography. So sometimes I have a hard time watching movies from the late 60s or 70s. Rosemary's Baby do not have that problem.
I would add into that too. Psycho.
Oh my God,
is incredible. I mean, like my dad showed me that when I was in like, I don't know, 3rd or 4th grade, and that probably jump started some of my love of that kind of stuff.
The new album sounds amazing. What's next? Just riding this out?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we just put the album out, and sorry, I'm gonna cough.
Are you okay? Are you infecting all of us?
No.
Okay.
No, we're all good. We just put the album out, and we just did like a tour on that, and I feel like we just came down from all of that, so now we're kind of like, oh yeah, what do we do now? We were just prepping all of that stuff. So I mean, continue to push the album, try to play shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely. Hopefully, like tail end of this year and for sure next year, still getting out when we can to play shows in support of it. But I'm like we had, I think you still had some like leftover stuff in the Dropbox from this album, or if not, like at least little bits and pieces we can start working on. So I'm sure we'll start like working on writing stuff in the next like month or two in our free time.
Well, we're also cool if you focus on gigs right now too.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd say I'm more motivated by the creative side and like writing and making the stuff. So
You're more comfortable behind the fog in the fog machine.
Yeah, I feel like that's the part that I'm like, I don't know, have that intrinsic motivation to be like, ooh, like I want to tinker with these songs and riff and record stuff, So I'm excited to get back into that the writing mindset, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we did like prep for several months for like basically our set that we have right now of like, half we have like half the album like under our belt that we can like play. So I think we want to try to work on, when we were on tour, we were talking about like 2 or 3 other tracks on the album that we want to also get down and obviously like spend all that time prepping. So hopefully there will be more opportunities to get to like play it while we work on stuff in the background. But I like, me and him both like work normal full-time jobs, and like everyone in our band that isn't us is in multiple other projects, so just like nailing down everybody's schedules is like for sure easier said than done. So we want to play more, but also realistically speaking, it's like we're limited with what we can do. So I'm just hoping we can do as much as we can with that when we get the opportunities to be able to.
All right, guys, thank you for doing this. I appreciate you.
Thank you, James. Appreciate you.
That refresh you've been putting off until the right deal came along? It's here! Wayfair's Black Friday and July sale is happening now, so you can finally get the style you've been waiting for less. Get up to 80% off area rugs and up to 60% off outdoor and bedroom furniture. Shop Wayfair's huge selection of styles and find the piece to fit your style, budget, and space. Plus, free shipping. Black Friday in July ends July 27th. Shop today at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.